All right, I have a little exercise I wanted to do first. You know me. I wanted this side of the room to say the greater Baltimore region, and I want this side to respond with is a force to reckon with. All right, now work with me. The greater Baltimore region
is a force to reckon with. The greater Baltimore region is a force to reckon with.
One more time.
The greater Baltimore region is a force to reckon with.
Thank you, thank you. That gave me my theme music I needed for today. But a couple things. Good morning. I want to ground us in that the greater Baltimore region is a force to reckon with. And when we talk about our ecosystem, as the president of Downtown Partnership of Baltimore, I want to talk about downtown for a minute, but it's in the context of that region. And so I'm excited today to share with you a little bit about Baltimore's future, but what we're talking about is downtown's next renaissance. And so for many people, when you think about downtown, what do you think about? Buildings, think about water, some restaurants, and some of those good things. I want to encourage you to think a little bit about the secret sauce to downtowns. And you know what that is? It's the streets. You know what they say, word on the streets, it's the streets. And those streets allow us to go to where we need it. It helps us get to where we need to, when we need to, how fast we need to, how slow we need to. And part of what we're looking at now is the movement and what we want that movement to be in downtown Baltimore. If you know a little bit about our history of our streets, you know that they weren't designed for people. They were really designed for cars, because the measure of success in cities used to be how fast you could get through them. And we had some winners. Think about Pratt Street. You can get through there, right? President Street. That's how our city was designed. And to add to that, we added a layer because we also had the skywalks that came. So think about that. In the 1950s and 60s, downtowns were designed to respond to the suburbanism that was happening. And so we wanted to make sure we could get that resident, that business, those people in downtown. And so what we said is you don't have to come on the streets. You can park, get on a skywalk, get to wherever you need to do to traverse our downtown. And that had unintended consequences, as we know, because then the ground level experience is not there. Retail is not there. You don't want to walk and stay and do all of that. You want to get through the area. And so Downtown Rise, the 10-year master plan of Downtown Rise, and if you've not gotten some of the background in it, I encourage you to go visit downtownbaltimorerise.com. It is very important because there's a short-term piece of this that we know we needed in the city to kind of work through, and Mayor Scott and his visionary leadership, CAO Leach, and a lot of the partners in this room, we worked together to really build what we could short-term, and then partnered with the development community and took all of the plans that have been in play. The Planning Commission has plans, Baltimore Together GBC, BDC had plans, University of Maryland, Baltimore, I see some of those partners have plans, and part of what we wanted to do was pull all of those things together so that as we really talk about this time where we have concentrated investment that's needed, that we could pull all of this and now get to an order of operations, a sequencing, because we know what we need to do to reimagine what our downtown needs to be. And so part of what we want to make sure is, because downtown wasn't really built for that, we need to make those connections. We want to make sure that it's livable and walkable. And so to understand that a little bit, we want to take you back to World War II in the 50s and 60s in there. And so a little bit about that, we talk about in our streets, how they come, how they big. And now we say in 2025 to 2035, with this 10-year vision, what do we want it to be? So not car first, obviously. That's not what we want. We don't want the skywalks. We know that we want to create a community where people feel connected, because that's what's making people move. You want to move to a place that feels vibrant, that has day activity and night, that when you come, you know that there's somewhere to eat, somewhere to walk, and that when you come, yes, you can park and get around, but it won't be on skywalks. It's interacting with all of that. And so that's a part of where we want to do and want to show you where we're going with this. Today, as all of the speakers talked about, starting with Senate President Ferguson, we have a remarkable opportunity to redefine what our downtown means, what our streets do, how we interact with that. And there are a lot of assets that we're connecting to that overall. Part of what we know is we have to redesign our streets for what we want them to be. We want them to be livable. We want them to be walkable. Absolutely want to feel safe and connected and all of that. And so in October of this year, a couple months ago, all of those plans we talked about, we worked together to get the Planning Commission's approval of the Downtown Rise 10-year master plan. That is a big, this room I can't say that word, a deal. Because part of what we know is having, as we said, all of those things under one umbrella allows us to do what they're talking about with the financing that exists. Because now we have an order of operations. We have some amazing projects that we know are coming underway. Some of them people referenced. Harbor Place, an amazing opportunity for us. What MCB Real Estate has done in there and the plans are tremendous. You're talking about a neighborhood on the waterfront. Retail, shopping, experiences, activations. Just some of it is happening now. If you've not been to Be More Christmas Village, I got to get that plug in. Please go down and see. I can't even imagine what it's going to be moving forward. Think about the convention center. Many of you are working on things with that. We know that we are an event city. Tourism thrives here, and we are working to make sure that our convention center mirrors and supports that. And then the entertainment corridor, when Katie talked about what's happening here at our sports and entertainment complex and how we're connecting that through a lot of our projects from Utah Street on up. Go to the CFG Bank Arena, wherever. All of this, you're talking about millions of people who descend on our city. And guess what happens when they come? They go back out. They come and they go to a game and they go home. They come and they go to CFG Bank Arena and they go home. We have data that shows us that. CFG Bank Arena is the number 4th grossing arena in the world for its size by revenue. But the people come in and go out. They sell out, I think, almost 30% of their shows. They come in and they go out. So when we talk about the streets and what's needed, part of our redesign is about ensuring that when people come, they have a place to go around it, that they can get through, that the cars and the movement allow us to get there. And that's what we're working towards now on all of these. So when you talk about the sort of what's important, what the data is showing us, what Downtown Rise is going to get for us, part of what we know is that place happens when place happens. And that allows us, the street configuration, the topology, all of these configurations allows us to connect these amazing assets. We brought in the Urban Land Institute years ago, and that's a part of what they said. We have tremendous assets, but they're not connected. They're not connected because of how our street topology, they're not connected because the place doesn't happen between where you feel like I can go to Harbor Place and then I can walk to Lexington Market, then I can come back and shoot here, and that's the future of how we're making downtown Baltimore, and it starts with our street topology. It started with a 10-year plan getting approved. It's been continued with the Department of Transportation approving a transportation study that takes it to the next level. And now we're working together on that governance piece to ensure that we're able to stay dogged as we really look towards this next realm of what's happening with downtown Baltimore. So how do we make this real? And how is it real for you? So we went through this plan. What does it look like? As we talk about these streets, what are we building? So Downtown Rise, part of the crux of it was really these 4 street types. And these 4 street types, as we do it, allows us to really have you explore and enjoy our city in a way that we know you can get maximum benefit. The first street type, that's a people mover. And so think about a street like Baltimore Street if you're from here. And if you're not, I encourage you to visit that area. But Baltimore Street, it's one of those streets that prioritizes transit. It's one that has multimodal, it keeps streets lively. That's an area that we would make sure is a people mover to help get people through. And then you have streets that are the neighborhood streets. So neighborhood streets, if you're in the area, think about like a Redwood Street. Historic Redwood, that district, very neighborly, restaurants, some shops, but feels like a neighborhood. That's the thought, that we really start to prioritize and define these areas so that we can have the alignment in how we move through them. The third type is a place defining street. You know you are here. You watch a game, you should see that street online. And for us, Pratt Street is a main street. It should feel like that. You should be able to go to shops and you want to go to Pratt and stay on it, not feel like you got dived across the highway to get there. Part of it is us working through to make sure we're creating that type of experience when you come down so you stay. And then the last type is a cultural connector. And those are the streets, think Utah. Think from the stadium complex all the way up. You're going to the Hippodrome, keep going. In that corridor, culture, arts, activities. You should be able to get out and walk through and feel excited about being there. These 4 types of streets, the transit access, the partnerships, the alignment, the collaboration that's happening. Yes, as the previous panelist talks about, this part takes a little bit longer to make sure you have this coordination, but similarly, it's worth it. This is one of those things that is more sustainable. It helps traffic access. It keeps the dollars here so that they are, and then it helps us help us in the process. So really excited about how we're able to do that. So one of the things, just in sort of closing it, part of what we're excited about with Downtown Rise in this early phase of it, it's more than a plan. This is a promise. This is one of the things where we're making sure that we're connecting the streets, that we're increasing safety, that we're increasing livability. The opportunity is here. We'll hear about the investment in a minute because that's the question. How do you start to fund this? And the good news about a project like this, where you have the city engaged, where you have the state engaged, where you have amazing partners. I thought Calvin was in here earlier. I saw Cassie from Just Economy. I know my team. When you see people who are really working together to make these things happen, that's where you know you have some real momentum. And part of what I had a different thought of how I wanted to end it, but I went to Katie's intro, and part of the feeling that I want to have and how I normally start, when you talk about downtown Baltimore and you're telling people where you are, the tone that you have, I want you to be like, yes, I'm from downtown Baltimore, or I'm from Baltimore, not, you're going. So if there's anything that we walk away with, it's that kind of momentum. That's what we're building, and we're building it together. Thank you so much.